Tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Good morning, Swarm, and welcome to Tinfoil Hat. You know I am. You know I'm here to do. I'm here to rock. Join me as always, Xavier Guerrero, and on the ones and twos, Jay Nice, Juicy Johnny Woodard, live from the Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Studios. That's right. Just go to SamTripoli.gold, use the promo code TINFOIL, and you too can join the Wolf Pack and get price mail sent to your house for as little as $50 a month. We got a banger for you, okay? We got the one and only Dammegard joining us. He does a deep dive. If you thought the Trump assassination was real, wait till you hear this episode. It is crazy. It's a long one. We do deep dives into it. Real quick, guys, I'm so excited. My new special, Why Is Everybody Getting Quiet, is going to be available on rumble.com and on samtripoli.com. Go to either one of those. Support me there. Help me with the episode. I hope you guys enjoy it because I know I enjoy it. I enjoyed shooting it. If you want to see me live, go to samtripoli.com. Hit the events. I'm going to be this weekend in Louisville, Kentucky, at the Murder Circus Comedy Club. That's right, the 11th through the 12th. Grab your tickets now. Tulsa, Oklahoma, at the Looney Bin, November 11th through the 14th through the 16th. November 14th through the 16th. And then we got Side Splitters on the 6th. Go check that out and enjoy these episodes. Okay, so he's back. He's one of our favorite guests, and man, we're excited to talk to him once again. He's one of the best researchers out there. Please welcome back to Tinfoil Hat, Olof Dammegard. How are you, Oli?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oli, we're blessed to be living in interesting times. Before we get into all of it, Oli, for those who may not be familiar with you after your many numerous appearances on the show, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
Yeah, I think I've been down this rabbit hole longer than most. It's since the 44 years now, I think. I would say get a life maybe, but it's been interesting years. And I've looked into hundreds and hundreds of cases, many top political assassinations. And the reason for this is because I was very confused because I was listening to the official narrative. And then the more I looked into so many of these different cases, it just turned out that it's just not true. And I was like, why on earth is somebody telling me something that is not true? What would be the purpose? And so that confusion got me into this very strange world of so-called false flag operations, psychological black ops, top political assassinations, and so on. So I've been specializing in these things, and I've been interviewed more than 1,200 times on international media, many times for you guys, which has been an absolute pleasure. And like you say, these the times are very interesting because these incredibly massive jigsaw puzzle mysteries that have taken decades and decades to figure out. Now, finally, we're at a time where suddenly the final pieces are sort of boom, falling into place. It's like this, I don't know what reality we're living in, but it's like it cannot hold any secrets anymore. It's like it's coming up to the surface. And thanks to all of this incredible work that so many have joined in doing, and how we've helped each other to uncover these things, now finally it's sort of like, So I'm super grateful to be around, and many people are not anymore. many people have sacrificed their lives and everything and their lives, their careers, their names, their reputation, their families to get this information out there. So I honor all of these who are no longer with us, or who are broken down and divorced and alone and being ridiculed, because it's thanks to individuals like that that we are at where we are now. And I really think that the truth shall set you free. It's in transparency and truth where the old values of moral honor, honesty, and the two cannot coexist. You cannot have massive corruption and deception and all of this, and at the same time live in truth and peace and harmony. So I'm not sort of like a geek who's just into conspiracies because of the fun of it. Oh, it's so fun with conspiracy. No, I'm here to pull the veil and let it just get out there so things can heal and we can lift this world to the next level of compassion, peace, understanding.
I agree, man. I'm the same way. I constantly battle my internal drive to help humanity as best I can. And this thing I know where being a normie is more lucrative in life, but I can't go to the other side. I can't be a normie. I can't ignore what this predator class is doing to humanity. And I regardless of what the consequences are, and I felt a lot, and there's going to be a lot more coming. I feel that is my job to speak out and say what's going on. And I think we are making steps forward, and people are waking up more and more and more. And the truth is, I just hate getting lied to. I don't like getting lied to. I never have, never will. And there's no reason to lie unless you're trying to cover something. And it seems to be predators versus humanity. That seems to be what we're into. And with the internet, we're able to keep score. We're able to keep a permanent record of what's going on, at least in our minds. If you ever see something on the internet you really like, you should download it immediately, because if it's worth anything, they're going to eliminate it 1984 style. But it's just the truth versus evil, in my humble opinion. And that's kind of where we are right now. So that's why I appreciate people like you, Olof Dammegard, because I'm just a dick joke comic out there telling jokes that has a show that resonates with people. But you're out there laying your life on the line, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Sam. At the same time, also, I think that the truth can be delivered in so many ways. And, there's so many people delivering truth in such a dark and fear-based way. And I think that is not the most efficient way if you want to reach people and make a difference. So humor, look at Carlin and these guys, and you as well, who are using humor to show things, because when you look in, these things are so absurd that they're perfect for stand-ups. I've been saying that for 1,000 years. This is like a gold mine of absurd. I don't even want to know what to call it, because it's just so weird, all of it. So anyway, we're in interesting times. If you want to look more into it, my website is lightonconspiracies.com or dammegard.com, same website. It's massive. It is absolutely massive. And I just want to say also, you said about downloading. I've downloaded my whole life before the internet. I gathered information on several different continents, and now also after the internet, I very soon saw that censorship was hard. People, so-called ordinary people, have not been aware of this censorship, but for people like me, it's been going on forever, and including being shut down physically. Not living anymore. Unfortunately, I have several people and friends who are no longer with us. But this censorship is now becoming so obvious and so violent that you see one thing, we put this one up, boom, maybe within 15 minutes it's gone. So you think, oh, I'm just going to go back and look at this one again. It's gone. There's this these book fires during the Second World War. We have this now again, but here a digital version of it. So I have everything in my whole life on an external hard drive. It's 8 terabyte, but I have like 5 terabytes now that I can share with people. So if you're interested, this is like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases, absolutely immaculately organized, because I need it to like that, so that whatever I'm being asked, boom, give me 2 seconds. Brrr, yeah, I got it. Boom. And this is why very, very rarely I get criticized for not being correct or speaking the truth or sticking to the facts, whatever the facts are, because we always have to be aware of that we could be played, just because
dude.
It's so difficult, especially now when even with images and videos and sound, you can't trust anything anymore. So, but the question is, have we ever been able to trust anything? We bought into it, but I mean, this technology that is now given out for free to us have been around for a long time, I think. No, how can you say that? I mean, did AI just come overnight? Like, where did it come from? Boom! And suddenly there are like hundreds and hundreds of programs. I tell you, these agencies, different. I mean, they've had these toys for a long, long time. So that is also something you have to ask yourself. When they make it very obvious for us to see that this is like crap, are they doing that on purpose, or are they just sloppy? I would say maybe a combo. And if you go to like, I love it if you go to like CBS News, for instance, on YouTube, and you see, okay, now there's a new interview with a victim or a witness or whatever. If you scroll down and look who is the one you should contact if you want to use that material for licensing, it's a company called Veritone. Veritone, you go there, and it's automated digital AI news feeds, including images, including videos. So, I mean, what the hell? When you were looking at, oh, my daughter was just shot in Uvalde, or this, and I was just beheaded in San Bernardino, or whatever. I mean, we don't even know if these images are real, or so. It's like we really had to take a step back and stop getting confused with this one. Feel with the heart. What to do. And I would say the way out of this is to stay without fear as much as possible. Let fear go. It's through fear that they control us. It's through the truth that we can be set free. So interesting times.
Non-linear warfare is everywhere. Everybody through these algorithms is getting to hear what they want to hear, which enforces their views. There's no like middle ground. It's all about divide and conquer. I mean, this administration, why do they have a separate White House for press and all and then how, you're right, how sloppy they get with stuff. There's a video of Kamala Harris and Tim Waltz walking into arena waving at everybody, and it appears to be green screened.
Oh God, forever.
Yeah.
There's a company also called crowdsondemand.com where you can rent crowds. So if you need background crowds or whatever, you just go there. Like Trump was saying about from this alleged shooting, he was saying just a day after or a week after, he was on being interviewed, and he said, it's incredible the way that the public reacted when the alleged shooting occurred. Especially the people behind me, they were like a backdrop, his words, a backdrop. And then he says, and there's some certain people that does this for a living. They're called crowds. Yeah. But he almost stopped himself, crowds on demand, You got rentammourner.com, so you can have people, that are really good at crying at funerals and stage funerals. You got the crisis actors, so many different companies that thrive on these things, making billions. Crisis solutions, that is one bad boy for you. You got Crisis X, you got Crisis Cast, there's so many of them. And so you can just stage these things. But now with this AI and video editing, generating things, like you can just say, if you're good at prompting, you can just put in whatever crap and boom, out comes a video. Like how does that work? I have no idea. I mean, if I use one of these things, I always add the word please because I don't know who I'm talking to. This entity is like,
too. I do that.
That's so funny. I do that too.
I do.
'Cause
I
think
say
eventually
please
these
that-
guys might be running the show. I want to be on the record as having been very
That's
nice. to
so
them.
true. I asked ChatGPT, please, could you please do that? I do 2 pleases.
So funny. I do that too.
because
How about a Siri?
people-
Do you guys treat Siri nicely? I don't treat her all that nicely, honestly.
I don't use her at all. But
Yeah.
but,
We're
but have you
conspiracy theorists.
I don't know if this is true, but have you heard that when they say Siri or is it one Alexa? I think it's Alexa. Open your third eye, and when you say that, open your third eye, they give a completely different answer. The truth.
What?
I've only seen it on one of these platforms. I have no idea if it's true, but this is what they said. Like they were saying, Alexa, tell me everything about Donald Trump regarding the election. One answer. Alexa, open your third eyes. Tell me everything about Donald Trump and then it comes a completely different one.
Well, in a way, if you ask ChatGPT if Pizzagate is real, it'll tell you no. But if you ask it if the emails are real, it says yes. It just says that it doesn't know what 1,000 pizzas they're talking about. It just says it's weird.
But it's like I in my ego-tripped little world here, I use my own name as a test thing, because that's the things that I know for sure, and then the first time there's one called Perplexity, which the first time my sweetheart asked about me, it came out incredibly. All of it was like correct. I was like, whoa, this is amazing. So I saved it. Then I asked again, boom, suddenly there was a censored version. Then we asked again, it was a lot more censored. The fourth time is like, don't listen to this guy. He's just full of it. There's not a true word anywhere. So it's like, what is going on here? Very, very odd.
It is very odd. Now, is there any part of you, I've seen videos, clips where people are just like, it's not AI, it's nothing special, it's just an advanced search engine. Do you think that there is this kind of shadow in the cave view of AI to make us feel like we're inevitably going to be controlled and destroyed? Or do you really think that we are heading that way? Some people think they're the spirits of dead Nephilim. What are your thoughts?
I have no idea. I stay in the here and now, and I take one step at a time. I have no clue whatsoever, but I know in my heart that we're going to be fine. That this is just bullshit upon bullshit upon bullshit, layers of absolute deception, and that if we just stay true to what is right and follow our heart and are brave, we have to be brave as well, and walk our talk, whatever that is for whoever is listening, what is right. In your heart, oof, I shouldn't have done that. Yes, this is the right way to go, even though it's scary. The more you stick to your path, whatever that is, you will start lifting. And the more you lift out of this, also with gratitude, really feeling gratitude, you start lifting yourself get your head above the mud. And then whoa, I can start see clearly now. What is going on? I don't even know what kind of reality we live in. I mean, I have no idea. Is this a virtual reality? I don't know. If so, that's good news, because then nothing of this is real. And all the bad stuff are not bad, and all the good stuff, who knows, is not good. I don't know. So I can only do my best, and with the intention, I think is very important. Whatever it is, that to set my intention as high as possible, and then see if I can manage to follow. And then what I try to do is I sort of split my day in chapters. So right now I'm in chapter Tinfoil Hats, where I'm going to do my utmost. Then when chapter Tinfoil Hat is over, then I'm going to close down the laptop. I'm going to say hello to the cat. I'm going to stay with the cat and be there for the cat. Then chapter cat is over. I walk out. I try not to slam the door. I try to do it in a non-violent way. Treat the door with respect. Then I go and just don't because for me, if I do it too big of a thing, like I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing this, that's just way out there for me. So I need to just make it simple. I'm a simple guy and just do. And then if I can do as many of these chapters per day in the right way, then my life starts changing and things around me changes. And that's the impact I can have. This whole thing about you should become a leader, everybody should be leading who?
Yeah,
leading
dude,
who?
I'm with you, bro.
I mean, most of us are really confused. We can't even find our own way. So who are we to lead anyone else? But I think like if you live in a way that inspire others, that's true leadership. And that sometimes needs courage. And the thing with courage, people say, well, that's easy for you to say who are brave. Well, courage is only needed when you're scared and you still do it. So it's like,
I'm with you, dude. So, Oli, I heard you say that you ask AI all this stuff. And so as I was listening to you, I decided to go to ChatGPT and I go, who is SamTripoli? And it goes, SamTripoli is a comedian, podcast host, writer, known for his work in a stand-up comedy involvement in conspiracy theory community. And it goes on. Then I go, this is the best part. I go, is he famous? Here we go. SamTripoli has a decade following, particularly with the podcast comedy communities, but he may not be as widely recognized as some as a mainstream comedian. His fame is largely come from a unique blend of comedy and conspiracy theories, which resonates with a specific audience. And I'll cut to the end. He's gained significant listener base, contributing to his notoriety. Okay, I'm not famous. I have notoriety. So even ChatGPT says I'm not famous. It's so hilarious. Oh, that was fun. So let's get into some stuff, Oli. A big thing is, even within like the conspiracy community, Trump, this assassination attempt, what is your thoughts on that?
I spent more or less I think 6 weeks nonstop looking into this whole thing because it's like in a situation like that, if there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, then what is the problem? Somebody's trying to kill him. In that case, who is trying to kill him? Killer, victim. Okay, so that's the setup. If there's somebody on the inside, like the Secret Service, who allowed for someone else to try and kill Donald Trump, we have a problem. In this case, it's the Secret Service and the outside force that want to kill the Donald Trump victim. Okay, so that's a different option. Then we have a third option. None of this is real. Okay, it was a whole stage thing. If that is true, why? Who would benefit from that? And that would involve a lot of different players. Okay, so no victim at all, nothing. It's just a psychological operation. And then we have the fourth version. Okay, there was no assassination attempt. The whole thing was a setup, and Donald Trump was completely in on it. In that case, no victim except us. And why would someone do like that? Who would benefit from it? So when you start looking into this whole thing, I mean, right away, the things that I look for is maybe not what so-called ordinary people look for. I check for the sky, because like when you look at these things, there has to be like a continuity in it. It's like when I used to be an extra on movies, and there was like this whole thing about that the sky in the background needs to be the same. Hurry up, we need to do another shot before the clouds come in, because you cannot have like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie talk like this and there's a blue sky and then they go like that, you cut back and suddenly there's a big cloud there. You can't have that. The same with the watch should be on the left hand and not suddenly on the right hand. The button should be button like that and not on button. It's called continuity. So what I look for is continuity. That's step number one. So in this case, I loved it because it took me like 4 seconds to see, whoa. There's something weird going on here, because you have the video footage from the front, if you look at that, it was late in the, I think it was around 6, something like that, 6:30 or something like that, when this whole thing happened. There was still daylight. You see the video footage from the front. There's actually 3 different cameras standing next to each other, filming more or less the exact same angle for different reasons. We're going to come to that. So when you look at the audience, the backdrop, as Donald Trump called them, and they're well lit. You can see that the light is slightly soft, so it's late in the day. Look at the sky. It's dark gray. Then you have all of these iconic photos. I mean, these incredible photos where you're like, wow, that is an incredible photographer over and over again. It almost looks like somebody who's knew what they were doing, were creating historical photos. Check the sky in the background, clear blue. Then you have the witnesses that were being interviewed right after the shooting happened. Look at the sky, completely overcast and cloudy. What on earth? How? Please explain to me, how did that happen? How can it be these things at the same time? It cannot. I call bullshit. I call for, let me look deeper into this whole thing. So that right away. And then when you look at how the Secret Service normally works, how do we know that it was the Secret Service? Because Donald Trump said, I thank Secret Service for this and that and that. So he was naming them Secret Service. Okay, so we look at Secret Service. Normally they go in. I mean, he's not a president, so you cannot have the same security on that level. But still, if they're involved, there are different rings of security. This is how they normally work. The Secret Service takes care of the inner circle, and then with the local law enforcement agencies and so on, they have other outer circles of security. So in this case, these cases, they handpick the location many times from a security point of view or from the location where the audience is located, So we look at this thing. So where did it happen? Was it, this is a guy who I think can fill stadiums more or less because he's so controversial, loved, hated, whatever, controversial. By the way, I have no opinion on Donald Trump, his policies or his politics. I don't listen to these guys at all. So I have no, I believe
that's
this.
That's how I feel, dude. I the VP, everyone's texting me, you watching this vice president debate? I'm like, I'm out. They're not going to ask any real questions. What are we doing here?
I prefer stand-up. That's honest, and he's making jokes. These guys are making whatever they are, but it's still on the same stage, and it's still like once you start looking into politics, it's like it takes you not long before you go, oh, waste of life. Yeah, I'm going to go vote and be responsible. Oh, waste of life. But anyway, so the Secret Service, their task is to keep him safe, and they've got like a 360. Their responsibility is 360. There can be a threat coming from anywhere, so 360. So they choose locations that are easily protected. From a logic point of view. And also where easy for people to access and where people are located. So where did this happen? In Butler, Pennsylvania, with a population of 1,300 inhabitants, or maybe 13,000, but it was like nothing in the middle of nowhere. Very close, actually, from where this whole East Palestine weird thing with the train happened. But anyway, so, and then it's completely flat. Nowadays, with the guns that are available, you can have an amateur sniper 1 mile away or further that can pinpoint you. So yeah. This is not easy. I don't envy these Secret Service individuals, but they are the top of the top of the top of the top. That's why they work for the Secret Service, so they should be good at it. So here we're being told that this 20-year-old, with no background in nothing, including life, managed, no special skills with a gun, no special education, no nothing like that, managed to outsmart the Secret Service. How did he do that? He parked a block away. That was this genius plan. Why didn't I think of that? So he parked a block away, and then he walked in there, bypassed the Secret Service. Okay. brought a ladder that no one knows where it came from, and a rifle that nobody knows how it got there. That's quite amazing. He gets stopped. He's got some equipment for snipers that calibrates the distance. They check it and they see, oh, well, who cares? And let him through. Okay, so he managed to get up on the roof, unseen, up this ladder, on a building that is owned by BlackRock, but otherwise than that, it's the headquarters for the local police force. He climbs up on the roof. The police sees him there. It's the closest building to the stage. I mean, please wake me up. And then it's like when you start listening to the details, it's like you as a stand-up wouldn't be able to get away with it. If you made a film script this bad, would you get any funding? They would throw you out. This is like ridiculous.
Hey guys, real quick, I'm going to tell you about our boys, James Man and Copy My Crypto. Let me tell you about Copy My Crypto. Has it pissed you off to watch crypto fly up in prices for a decade and you still have done nothing about it? It makes sense. Crypto is complicated and really boring. Well, here's the good news. You don't need to know a thing about crypto to make money like so many have. The CopyMyCrypto.com membership site shows you the exact cryptos that YouTuber James McMahon personally owns, which means you just got to copy him. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest. Just simply copy along. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about James. He runs the Crypto with James YouTube channel, which has over 54,000 subscribers. In the summer of 2020, he told his viewers to buy 26 cryptos. Had you put $100 into each, it went on to be well worth $123,000. Of the 26 cryptos, his top pick of the year, the one he singled out called Phantom, went up 692 times from when he said to buy it, okay? That one call alone has retired a number of people, including guys in the 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go to YouTube and verify for yourself. So if you'd like to join the 2,800 members who have copied James, then pause what you're doing and head over to copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's TFH. You'll not only find proof of everything I said, but my viewers will get a full access for just $1. Yes, you've missed out on Bitcoin, but there's over 2 million other cryptos. Do you really think you've missed out on all of it? Guys, don't waste your time. Go to the site and read it. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/TFH. Guys, it's ended money worries for so many. It may just do the same for you. Copymycrypto.com/TFH.
Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. And
but one thing is, Oli, is like when we've watched footage of everything that was going on, the one thing I noticed that there were just cops, and the cops were literally doing nothing. Like there was just time when they were in the field and they're just like, hey, and they're just like walking in circles, which is very much like we've seen in high impact events, whether it's the Vegas shooting and the SWAT team shows up and never goes in, or was it Uvalde that was in Texas and the cops never went in. And it's just like, it's a lot of just like, look busy, like when I would be working in a restaurant that was slow, the manager would be like, just look busy. That's what they look like, just like walk around, act like you're doing something, but never actually make any move to actually get anything done. And that's what I noticed in a lot of the cop footages, them just walking in circles, nothing, everyone pointing somewhere, but nothing ever actually getting done.
But would you have expected the cop to shoot the shooter?
Yeah.
Like I see what you mean, but I think that's more like a secret. Like, I mean, on top of a roof, the cop's just supposed to walk around and kind of maintain the audience. You get what I'm trying to say? And then there's a guy up on top of the roof. That's what the Secret Service is for. Like,
are you crazy?
I don't know.
SWAT, though. There was SWAT there, too.
That's what I mean. There should be more than just cops.
There was Secret Service, and there were cops, and none of them did anything.
Because one of the cops says he saw him with the ladder, but he didn't know how to react to it. As in, like,
come on, dude, what are we, stupid?
They're video game character, like NPCs. You know, just on loop.
Just like, hey.
That's what I'm saying. That's what they're there for. They're just NPCs.
No, dude, that's just stupid.
So let me just go back a little while. If you look at the ones going around in circles, that is very awful for aerial news footage. So that like if the Sandy Hook, you got the choppers up there, or the Westminster Bridge attack, you got the choppers up there, and the news channels want like breaking news. This is live from Westminster Bridge. So they need something, not just an empty space saying something happened here, and we don't know what, but so they need all the actions going on. So the ambulances will not move. They drive up and down like this. You got like, so when you look at this type of aerial footage, just like Sam is saying here, just pick one and you will start seeing, like on the Westminster Bridge alleged attack there that I predicted 2 months before it happened, you will see exactly everyone are like in a circle. The firefighter running up to the fire truck, opening a door or whatever, closes the door, runs back, comes back, opens the door, look around, closes the door, runs back, comes to the fire truck, opens the door, look. And so that the news footage, and you're doing the CPR for like 45 minutes. Where's the hospital? Like 500 yards that way. Let's not bring him there. Let's just keep doing it. Why? Because it's news footage. So it would go on, the whole thing, the way they park the cars and block each other and lock the whole thing. I love that one, because when you look at how they park the ambulances and the fire trucks, it is so that people cannot see what's going on. So they would park them like this. That they would get their ass fired if they were not real fire truck drivers or ambulance drivers, because they need to get in and out fast. And here we see the exact opposite. So bullshit. But what I want to say is like, regarding the whole Trump thing, I've done 2 webinars. You can find it on my website, lightonconspiracies.com, where I go through this whole thing step by step. It's like almost 2 hours, and you can see for yourself, oh my God. So what I would like to say instead of that, is just my conclusion is that there was no real shooting. The whole thing was filmed on different days. You will see like the body cam footage, for instance, when the police come and run around like that. If you go frame by frame, you will see the parking lots empty. You will see that there's hardly any people at all. There's no adrenaline. There's no this whole fear thing or in sounds in the background. They run over, there's no audience, the whole field is empty. They get up on the roof and there's a dead body. How did that happen? But I also want to say that if this is a psychological operation, if it's carried out well, and this one was actually, because as far as I know, I'm more or less the only one in the world pointing that way. Everybody else is buying into that way. And so either I'm completely wrong or they pulled it off really well. So if it's an operation, the way it's set up is like you got the truth there, so they need to divert the truth and blame someone else. And the way to get us confused is that they start going in one direction, then that forks up into 2, then the 2 forks up to 4, then the 4 forks into 8, then the 8 forks up. So that we at the end are just completely confused, arguing with each other. So we have like, first it was one guy, Thomas Matthew Crooks. They love these names also. 3 names for the patsy always. And then 2 biblical name and the name Crooks. I love it. And so this guy has absolutely no background, but whatever. We're told that this is the guy. How did they find him? DNA. What? So he didn't have an ID on him, but they managed to identify him with a DNA blood sample. Okay, so doesn't that normally take weeks to get that whole thing? Shouldn't it be in a DNA blood bank to be able to how anyway, but they managed. Amazing. So that was what we've been told. Then suddenly, no, it was this guy instead. It's this guy. He was the one. Okay, so you managed to. Then suddenly, another guy pops up and say, "No, I'm the real Thomas Matthew Crooks, and by the way, I'm into transgender and that whole thing." Then we see that Thomas Matthew Crooks is suddenly an FBI informant. Okay, then we see, no, it was the Secret Service that let it happen because they told the sniper to stand down, even though it was so obvious. Okay, and then why wasn't the Secret Service up there? No, because it was too dangerous for them to walk on a completely flat roof. I mean, so then suddenly Thomas Matthew Crooks has connections with Saudi and like offshore bank accounts, and then he's connected to BlackRock, and then can you see how it just click, it just forks up, and then, oh, the sound analyzes, okay, but there was another shooter there, and there's a shadow up there, and there's a shadow over here, and so we just keep analyzing. Okay, so listen to the sound. Who delivered the sound to you? If this is an operation, they will deliver sound to you that will confuse you.
Dude. Yes.
And like the water tower, there's somebody moving up there. How are they not controlling the water tower? I mean, that should be position number one to secure for access for anyone, because there should be a sniper up there. Then we see the Secret Service on the stage that do not behave like Secret Service at all. Mostly women, some overweight, have no clue with a gun, have no idea what they're doing. I mean, I love it. I love it when you look at it. Have you seen this woman who's standing by the car waiting, like some kind of Clint Eastwood imitation? And then in the background, you got the director or the assistant on stage, where he's sort of behind a truck. There's soldiers waiting. He's sort of signaling to them, wait. And then the car drives off without security or anything like that. And then he waves these soldiers, and then they run around, and the military guys come up. Look at the two military guys that come up on stage. What are they doing? I mean, that is not the way you do it at all. Where's the adrenaline? You got the backdrop, his words, people sitting around, fiddling around with their cell phones. They've just been shot at. I mean, I don't know about you guys. If you've heard a bullet come close to your head, you are on the ground. It's not you deciding. Your body says, get out. Or you wet yourself, or you panic, or you scream, or no, I'm just going to check Facebook one more time. Is anyone filming? Is anyone taking photos? Is anyone doing anything except? No, they're not. Absolute. And it's really bizarre also, because we got this Vincent Fauska. Some people say that he's JFK Jr. Alive, but this guy with a hat who's always in the background of him. So look at him. You got different video footage from the front. He's up and to the right, okay, to the right, together with a woman in light blue. So you see that, the position of them. Then you see video footage from, I tell you, I can't see the difference in the angle. But when they film it like that, he's down and to the left of Trump. How did that happen? And I've been talking to people in the film industry, because I compared the two different angles, and you can see it's actually the same background. First, I thought they filmed in different shots, that, okay, let's do another take. But actually, the background is moving identical. It's just that it's moved. I don't know how that is even possible. But anyway, so you got the...
So here's the $1 million question, Oli, and this is Oli speaking. Do you think anyone died this day?
I think that what we saw was a Jewish ritual of making Trump publicly ointed, or whatever you want to call it. It's a Jewish ceremony of how to take him more or less from a prince to the king of kings. I think that this whole thing, I can show you, I've got the videos of this Jewish ritual, how they prepare the priest, and how what they do is that they take him, they wash his head, and then they put blood from a slaughtered ram on his right foot, on his right thumb, and on his right ear. This is exactly what we see here. And I think what actually happened was that they need to do this whole thing in public, or they love to do it in public, so that we are witnessing it without knowing what we're witnessing. So when you see the alleged shooting happened, we have been told that he was so lucky that he turned his head at that exact time. Very convenient that he turned his head so that we can't see what happened, because it said that his right ear was pierced, and that he had like a 2 centimeter. I tell you, that is like 2 centimeter. That is almost an inch hole. His doctor said 2 centimeter. That is a massive hole in your ear. Okay. The day or few days afterwards, he was playing golf. Nothing. Now you see him, not even a scar. Okay. And then, anyway, you talk to anyone in the army or military or whatever that have been shot or seen people getting shot. If anyone gets hit here, you're deaf. I mean, your eardrum explodes from the air pressure, or also very often, if the bullet is that close, you get like an impact on the flesh as well because of the compressed air around the bullet. Here, this guy just goes down, comes up, and say, "Fight, fight, fight." Okay, that's the 6th letter in the alphabet, meaning 666.
Oh, come on! What?
And then also, as far as I know, he already had sneakers printed up with the iconic photo. That's this one with "Fight, fight, fight." That was there in a limited numbers. As far as I know, I saw these on his website. I mean, they were there within 24 hours. That's fast moving, I tell you, to get them in production. So fight, 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 fight. And
then that fits into the whole Q thing, because there was the fight, fight, fight drop right there. That's crazy. Guys, real quick, I want to tell you that we are on the verge of World War III, and that's going to mean hand-to-hand combat, okay? You're going to have to be able to go hard in the paint real quick with high kicks, and there's only one apparel clothing out there that I will suggest for the apocalypse, and you need stuff for the apocalypse and for picking up women. That's right. It's called True Classic. I wear True Classic everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, when I'm hanging, I'm banging, I'm wearing True Classic. If I'm on stage doing stand-up at Skankfest, True Classic. If I'm roaming the streets, vigilante style, because Johnny hasn't gotten to the studio yet, and I have to keep the streets safe for the ladies, I'm wearing True Classic. If I'm on a board meeting, I'm trying to sell everybody about the importance of gold, importance of silver, importance of crypto, I'm wearing True Classic. If I'm taking a nap in the trees because I want to be high up, so no, I can see marks down on the street where I can drop down like the fucking falling death and killing all the bad people in the neighborhood, you know what I do? I wear True Classic. It is the best clothes I have. I wear it everywhere all the time. Ask Xavier, ask Johnny. Nothing but bangers, and that's True Classic. It is the best clothes out there.
I got it on too. Look at me. We're twinning today.
Do you know I got D cups? No, you don't. Look at that, because it just hides all of it, okay? It's for a man on the go that has a mission to right the wrongs, okay? If you're looking to right the wrongs and you want to be comfortable yet look cool, why should girls be able to wear yoga pants at a board meeting, at the nightclub, at a funeral? Well, that's not fair. Well, the answer to that is True Classic, okay? Bangers bang. That's what we do. And this is why I want to tell you that fall is here. It's time to step up your game. Right now, you can unlock big savings when you bundle packs. Just go to our exclusive link, which is trueclassic.com/tinfoil to save. That's trueclassic.com/tinfoil. Shop now and elevate your wardrobe today. And we thank True Classic for sponsoring this show.
And you can, I mean, when we've seen the candid footage from observers with their phones, there are a few of them, and I'm sure you've seen them, Ollie, that have the perfect angle, that if they were filming Trump when he was shot, we would see it would all be revealed. And every one of them we've seen, Sam has seen these, they come up with something that's like, oh, and then right then I bent down to pick up something, or, you know, someone called my name and I turned my phone off.
Yeah.
None of
so
them
unlucky.
None of them have that footage.
So, I mean, there should have been thousands of videos. Yeah. I mean, this is only Donald Trump speaking. I mean, normally people take photos of their hamburger and put on Facebook. Yeah. This would be more interesting. I would say it's a one in a lifetime. This is the guy. What, you know, I would film it. There's like 4 or 5. And just like you say, just when you get to the action, it cuts or it moves or it's like this. So very, very odd. Or very, very odd. Yeah, it's just not real, I would suggest. Listen to the sounds of the weapons being fired also. That sounds more like paintball guns than real. Then anyway, it's like, please look at my my webinar, because then you can see for yourself. I always try to do it so that you see, you decide, and you get to the point. Also, let's get back to the ear. So had he been hit in the ear, this is the part of the body that bleeds the most easily. In Denmark, at least when I was a kid, you even took blood samples from the ear like this because it bleeds very easily. So if you get a cut in your ear, it just bleeds like this. So is this what we see? No, exactly this. This is also the exact position on where they do it in this Jewish ceremony, the blood up here. We don't see that the Secret Service, who are specially trained also in first aid and like that, they should have put pressure on it right away. We don't see that. The blood just stays there. It's static like that. And nothing all the way to the vehicle. No blooding, no dripping, not true. It's just not true. Then we have all of these diagrams. Had he not moved his head, he would have been hit right here, and the bullet would have gone out there. Do you know any other president that died from that exact headshot? You got JFK. That is the exact headshot of JFK. This is how these psychological operations are done also to get the emotional things to our subconscious. Many people have seen these diagrams with JFK, but they're not really aware of it, but they're connecting the two events subconsciously. So Secret Service, they just jump on top of him and then they let him up. Yeah. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because there could be, I'm just saying, there could be more than one shooter. They say, is he eliminated? Yes, he's down. Okay, and they bring him up and let him show his face like this. And then the whole thing, fight, fist, 666, whatever you want to go.
Damn, dude.
And several times where like a secondary shooter, he would just like wait for it and job finished. So not professional. Then you see the iconic photos. That is the one. Not that one, but when he comes down the stairs and you got the flag in the background, the crystal crisp blue sky, unbelievably beautiful sky, and the whole way that is constructed, that image, or luckily that he was there, it's taken from below and to the right of the stage if you stand in front of it. Below the stage, upwards like this. So see the flag. Where is the flag? I could not find the flag for a long time until I saw aerial footage, because that flag is suspended between these two cranes that are standing on the side of the stage with a wire. But these are like 20 yards behind. There's no way you can get the flag in that angle. And also, if you look at it, it's inverted, it's upside down. Meaning, if that's on purpose, but it's like the satanic way of doing it. So you look at that image, the whole construction of that, it's very, very similar to the photo of Iwo Jima at the end of the Second World War, where you had these American soldiers that was lifting up this American flag and like, we did it. No, you didn't. That was fake as well. That photo was taken the day after this thing happened. They say that this thing happened, but there was no photographer. So the photographer, this is in documentaries, you can see it, them talk about it. So the photographer said, oh my God, I would really want a shot of that. You guys, can you come with me? And then he took them back up on the hill and got them to arrange that photo, this historical photo that is now there as statues and sculptures and stamps and whatever. It's just, that's not real. And this one was not real either, I tell you, because how could that flag get there? Then you get Donald Trump, he was like saying, and please, this is not against Trump. I'm looking into crimes. I track down criminals. I expose crimes. I don't care who was involved. In this case, it was somebody with a strange hairdo. Otherwise than that, I'm neutral in this whole thing. So the victim of this said that The shot was fired. He felt something like hit his ear really, really hard. And so he put up his hand like this, and he looked down, and it was covered in blood. You look at the video footage, you go up, like boom, he goes up like that, and then frame, no blood, no blood, no blood, no blood, no blood. He's then brought down from the stage. You can see his hand like this. There's no blood. So either he's not being truthful. I mean, it's a good story. He could add stuff to it just to be more dramatic. But what he's saying is not correct. Let's put it like that. Then the only thing he cares about up on stage, I mean, the guy has almost been murdered, blown his head off. What does he care about? His shoes. Get me my shoe. Do you remember the shoes we've done? I think I've done shows about the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what is the thing that he says? Get my shoes. Get my shoes. Get my shoes.
Yeah.
We got your shoes, President. And then you even see a Secret Service agent. She kicks it off. And then there's these iconic photos of the shoe left on stage.
Snaps.
The right shoe, for the right foot, and also the sock is there as well. So for some reason, somebody's taken off the right shoe.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that,
Okay.
dude. Whoa. Whoa, Oli. Holy shit.
Okay, so up there you see the shoe, was the sneaker I was talking about, the fight. And then you got the shoe. Can you see it's the right shoe for the right foot?
Yeah, it is the right shoe, yeah.
And the sock. And in the ceremony that I'm talking about, from the can you hear me? I think something happened.
Yeah, I think
we lost you for a second, but we're good now.
Yeah,
Okay, so you got somehow the right shoe fell off. Is Donald Trump known to take off his shoes when he speaks like this? I've never ever heard of it before, but now the shoe is off. And there's actually both shoes off, because there's this Secret Service agent that later turned out not to be Secret Service at all. They've gone out and said, no, these were not Secret Service agents at all. They were apparently employed by the Homeland Security. I would say, no, they're crisis actors. They have no clue what they're doing. So then there's another photo where Trump is lying there. Somebody has been very, very lucky to take a close-up, like super, super sharp. All of these photos, the iconic photos, are also arranged in a pyramidic form, a triangular shape, the whole setup of the photo. And you got this, he's lying down like this. And what is the focus on? If you look at the sunlight is coming in on his right thumb. And in the background of that, you will see that there's an orange, something orange, like that's the color of Trump as well. And then with the American flag inverted again. The right thumb is the focus, the main focus. If you look at that image, what is in the center? It's the right thumb. So you got the blood on the ear, the right shoe, the right thumb, all of these things in this whole thing.
It's so crazy, dude. This is so
Is this the
crazy.
one you're talking about, Ollie?
No, it's when he's that's I mean, these photos are just incredibly. You can see the difference, between when the background. Many of the photos. There's another one I love. Is the one where you see it's caught the bullet midair. That one, that is amazing. I mean, when you think of it, that is amazing. Clear blue sky. How? Okay, you see the angle. Where was the photographer? His name is Doug Mills, by the way. Doug Mills is Donald Trump's favorite photographer. He even CNN had a story about him, Pulitzer Prize winning photographer, and it's Donald Trump's private or personal favorite. Here you go. It's the one that you would know. The thing with the thumb. If you scroll down a little bit, that's the one.
This one?
Yeah. No, that one. No, left. Oh.
Oli, you're totally right about the skies. Holy cow, dude.
Up in the corner there. No, you keep missing it. With the thumb, go down, one down. You're almost there. This one. Can you see where your mouse is now? No. The one when he's lying down with the thumb.
This one right here?
Where his face is kind of down.
Yeah, the face.
On the left.
They attack left. One more left. Left. Up,
On the
up,
left,
up.
top left.
Oh,
Up,
I can't see
up,
it.
that's- that's the one.
why. I can't see it.
Okay,
bro.
so here, if you can enlarge that, please. Or, but can you see here, the main focus is the right thumb. The sunlight is on the right thumb. And then in the back, there's this hand with something orange, and then the inverted American flag right behind it. Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. What is that
And-
orange thing?
I think, yeah, you tell me. I don't know, but orange is the color that is normally connected to Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah. You're totally right.
So
Man,
it's-
that is crazy.
And then you can see that the blood is almost like dripping towards his thumb. But this whole thing is super bizarre because there's like a psychological operation going on that is, when I want to say the reason that I become famous in this area is because I don't look at one case, I look at hundreds of cases. And what I've seen is that many times these are NATO operations. They are connected with, so that one thing can happen in like, for instance, Canada, another in France, another one in England, another one in the US, and they are connected. This is how I've been able to predict so many of them correctly on international radio, because it's not France only. It's not just the UK. We're looking at a global agenda here that is being played out. And there was a build up to this, this thing that happened in Butler, Pennsylvania here, where there's like it's almost like there's this theme of going from a prince to the king of kings, and with the slaughter, with a sword, the slaughter of something, I would say a ram, to do this ceremony on stage, where if you look at the timing, if you look at the timing of this ceremony, from the moment when Trump disappears out of sight, boom, then if you put it next to it, where they wash the head and then they do the blood thing on the thumb, on the foot, on the ear, and that to when he appears again, the timing is almost identical. I would say there's people have suggested, I'm not sure, but people have even suggested that they could use like a trap door like that, or like boom, down below, and underneath the stage there's people, rabbis and stuff collected or gathered to do the ceremony, boom, bada boom, bada boom, and boom, up again, fight, out at the whole shebang, and there you go. And millions of people are seeing and taking part of this thing with no one knowing why, or knowing what they just saw. And
So-
that's how the game is played.
Do you think Trump is a Kabbalistic sorcerer? Jewish mysticism.
I can only say, I don't know who he is. I don't know who any of these dudes. I don't look into them normally. But what I can say is that cui bono, who benefits, who follow the money, follow the power, follow what happened here. We were in a situation where I would say, if you look behind the scenes, there is no Biden and this on one side and Trump and Trump. It's the same. There's this thing being played out in front of us where we are being told, just like with by a magician, where they said, pick a card. You think you choose this card, but it's already been chosen to you, for you. And here, so problem, reaction, solution. We have this president that wasn't even elected, but this guy who suddenly he can't even sit on a bicycle. He's falling over. He's got diapers. He's funneling black guys, and he's doing weird things with little kids, and he's got no memory left and whatever. That's a problem. I'm just saying, if this is staged, that would be like a psychological operation. Oh my God, he's brain dead. Problem. Our reaction, my God, we need a solution. We need somebody, a solution out of that. And then you got all of these people on, yeah, we love Trump, we hate Trump, we like this. And suddenly, boom, one thing, the ear, And suddenly so many people went from being on the fence like this to, oh my God, look at this guy. It's only when under live fire, being hit in combat zones, that will show the true character of an individual. I've seen all of these veterans saying, I wasn't a Trump supporter now before, but now I will sacrifice my life for this. What I would suggest is a complete psyop. So suddenly you got this guy massively popular. And then when these operations, the way they normally do is like when they're false flags, the thing that they're after, what they were trying to create is an emotional reaction so that we will do what they want us to do. And if that, so they have very often, they do something like a beheading of someone like that or whatever, chop, 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 your reaction. And then they have all of these checks on Facebook and all different, social platforms to see, did we accomplish what we wanted to? Did we get up to the level of whatever that we wanted to? If not, they have these meetings, just like marketing agents. Did we accomplish our goals or did we not? If not,
I'd love to be at that meeting.
If not, they did just need to redo it to amp up the thing. So it's just a matter of time. Is it going to happen again? Yeah. And then we have a Kalashnikov with a sniper. So, I mean, really, did you put a sniper scope on a Kalashnikov and on a golf course and then miss? It's like really, it's absolute bullshit once again. But to amp up the operation. And then instead of looking at his ear that has not even got a scar, it's in your face. And also the timing of the whole thing, just a few days before this happened, it happened on the 13th of July, which is, there's different things connected to France in this operation, whole thing. So it was the day before the day of the Bastille Day, the National Day in Paris. But otherwise, it was also the day when they had the ceremony of what is it called?
And did we lose him?
Yeah. I thought he was just
in
thinking
the
earlier.
Oh,
Bohemian.
there we go. Here we go. You're back. And
it was the same day as the ceremony in the Bohemian Grove. Am I still on?
Yep,
Yeah.
you're here.
Okay, so and also like 3 days before that, I think it was like 150 Jewish priests that came to the golf course and gave a silver crown to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is so connected to Israel. It's incredible. It's really like, once again, I have no interest in his politics or whatever. I don't know who the guy is, but the connections are super powerful to this small country in the Middle East that are creating a lot of havoc, if you want to ask me, genocide.
Dude.
So, yeah. So what I think happened, I want to say also that if you look upon this from a psychological point of view, NATO operations and the things that happened, bam, 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 like this, up to this whole thing happened. There was one of the things in this incident, it's France with the Olympics also coming up. And you had, and Denmark, which is also, Denmark was one of the founding nations of NATO. And there's these things coming up to this thing in Butler, Pennsylvania, where it's like the killing of the king, the lynching of kings, and so on, coming historical dates and historical events and stuff like that, building up to this. And then just a few days before this thing happened with Trump here, there was like the Excalibur sword in France. There's two of these historical swords. One in England, the Excalibur, the one that is stuck in a rock, where the chosen one is the one that can pull it out. But France has one identical, and that disappeared just a few days before. It's been sitting in the rock since the 1200 or 1100, something like that. Has not, and suddenly it just disappeared. Then there's several things that happens more or less identical. And one of the things is like when you see Trump on stage, you got like 3 different video playing like this. And we have boom, boom, boom. Trump goes down behind the podium. If you were the one filming, wouldn't you stick to the center of the things of what is going on? Okay, so one cameraman decides, no. So he, boom, Donald Trump goes down, and he goes out and focuses to the right, where there's one of these big machines with a hydraulic pipe that suddenly go like this, like it's been hit. So there's all of this like oil coming out, but it almost looks, if you look at it, like something being slaughtered, like, and blood is squirting out like that, and then it goes like, You have an identical one. There was a very similar thing as the Notre Dame fire directed energy hit in central Copenhagen very recently, where the stock market in Denmark it's a big thing, but I would suggest many of these things are actually connected. Anyway, after filming after that, just days after it happened, they were clearing up this area, and for no reason they were filming a very similar type of machinery like in the Trump event, where suddenly they're filming and everything is fine, and suddenly it goes boom, and it drops one thing, and the hydraulic goes like this, and it's like blood squirting out like this, and then it's dying. I thought it was like that there was some symbolic slaying of a dragon. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but there's also the slaughter of the ram. So you got suddenly, and then you had also very not long after this whole Trump thing happened, we had the opening of the Olympics, which was absolutely bizarre as well, with one of the parts being Marie Antoinette being beheaded, the whole with her head. I mean, I'm sorry if this sounds all over the place. Please look at my webinars where I just go through it, all of it.
No, but it's crazy. Like, this is such a great in-depth analysis of this. And my thing, because I just want to get to a couple other points that you would put in that you wanted to talk about. I haven't studied to the level that you have, but these high impact events, like, there's layers to these things. And it's why everybody debates JFK and they debate 9/11. And everyone has their own version. Well, because it's probably all true. They just understand one layer of the multi-layered stuff. Like JFK, it's like you had multiple snipers everywhere. You had guy maybe shooting from the front. I mean, there's so many different layers to ensure that these guys, this event gets completed, whether it's assassination of JFK or 9/11, whether it's planes flying into buildings, explosions in the building, direct energy weapons. They're all probably true. And that's why you're all fighting with each other, because you only understand one of those layers. With Trump is, if this was a real attack by a deep state player, he wouldn't have gotten out of there. That's my humble opinion. It would have came from, sniper fire would come from every different angle all the times, and him and a bunch of other people would be dead. That's my humble opinion.
I mean, at least
you think it was an inside job, Sam? You think it was an inside job, as in like full on inside job by Sam?
Of what?
By Trump?
100%. 100%. You asked me if there was any death, possibly that the fireman got killed there, but he got killed there as a ritual death. If you look at, it's very bizarre afterwards when Trump gets his uniform up on stage and the helmet. Have you seen that? Where you got, one thing is that it's misspelled. His name is misspelled. Competitore, it's competitore. Yeah. It's the wrong, and they say, well, it was an old jacket. It was like, no, it was brand new, the one he's got up there. Then you got the number 27 under the helmet, and Trump is kissing it. The 27, I mean, the thing is, when you look at these operations, if they're operations, you have to look really into the details. What's going on here? And 27, that's the 27th book of the Bible, is the the book of Revelations, where, 27. It's very dominant, that whole thing. And you got Buffalo also, where you got you have this whole thing about the building a new temple in Jerusalem, and the red heifers, these red buffalo calves, or not buffalo, but there's all of these weird things going on in this whole setup. But anyway, you also had at his funeral, first he was a firefighter, then he was the chief of the fire brigade, then he was an ex-chief. They keep changing it, and first at the funeral there was a handful of people. They even took a photo of the parking lot just to say there's people, look at the cars, you know. And then you have this guy carrying a cross, like a 6-8 foot big cross on the parking lot of his even on wheels of his funeral. There's a whole different ball game going on.
When I see the misspelling, correct me if I'm wrong, did you think this way too, that it might be an AI image? Because AI struggles madly with spelling.
No. This is
You think that was an actual object that existed, that jacket? Like that photo was something that happened?
No, it's not just one photo. It's all over the place. It's many different. This is the thing. If it's one photo, yeah, but if you got photos from different photographers from different angles, you know, then it's a different thing. No, this is completely done on purpose.
So why would they misspell it? What do you think what's the angle there?
And that is exactly the big question. And I can only speculate, because sometimes, you know, like they don't put the real spelling. Sometimes I think maybe to avoid being sued later on when we find out these things. And so if you go online, and whatever you look at online or YouTube or whatever, then look at when they use citation marks, you know, these. So there's like knife man chopped the head of 3 babies, chopped the head, boom, 3 babies. You know, so or Donald Trump. Look at these signs. They're showing us that it's all there, and then suddenly when they lie, they put it like that. And I think maybe it's because of the law of karma, this whole thing, that they really have to show us when they're doing it, and we're too stupid to notice it. Or it's so that they can't get sued in the future, saying like, yeah, but we didn't really say it. If you look at these headlines, I tell you, whatever you look at on YouTube, be aware of these ones. Drive-by shooting killed 3 teenagers. Why would you put that there? So they're telling us that it's not true. And here they put it. I think maybe it's not even afterwards. They said, well, we didn't really say that it was his, you know, code or whatever. I don't know. I just know that when you look at something like that, with the name Buffalo is so dominant, and then the 27 is so dominant, that's like, wait a second. And this whole thing, him being a hero, what happened was he was sitting there, 1 shot fired, he was dead. You know, okay, so what was the big heroic? Or maybe like, boom, he just stood up, like, boom, and he was hit. That's not a heroic thing. It's like maybe he tried to save his ass and get out, and he was hit in the head and dead. But, you know, the clothes also, when you look at the clothes where he's being carried out and the clothes that he was said to have worn, not the same. And you got... also, when they do these type of operations, they want to involve as many nationalities as possible. When you look at alleged truck attacks or vehicle attacks or mass shootings, you will see that the alleged shooter very often have like dual citizenship, like he was German Afghani or French Tunisian, and then the victims, like on the London Bridge, like there was 12. Let's say there were 12 victims, 10 nationalities. I mean, what are the chances? So why are they doing that? They're doing it, I think, to emotionally involve as many nations as possible, because we, as species, care more about our own than others. So I don't really care about people from Zimbabwe, and they don't really care about Swedes or Danes or whatever. So they do like that. And so here they said that there were 2 people wounded here. One, David Dutch, that's pretty Dutch, you know. And when you look at the photos of him, he's dressed in the American flag. He's standing in front of a container with the American flag colors on them. Could very well be a psychological operation. If so, boom, bullshit on steroids. The other guy his name was blurry image, by the way, James Copenhaver. That's pretty close to Denmark. Copenhagen, really, and but I'm not saying this from one, I'm saying it for so many. Let's look at the guy up who is said to have been killed up on the roof. Okay, so we have one photo first of him lying up there, and not often do they show these gruesome images of people being murdered or crime scenes or whatever, but we had it at the Las Vegas mass shooting, gruesome image that was packed with clues, which made me be able to predict the Parkland, Florida Parkland, Florida high school shooting. The clues were in that photo. Okay, so in this here, we suddenly have the same type of gruesome image of this guy who's apparently been hit in the head from this sniper, who was first Secret Service, and then afterwards Secret Service says, no, we don't have anyone by that name. So who was he? Anyway, so we look at him, and you see the body cam footage from the guys, so the police running around. When you look at that footage frame by frame, it's not filmed on the same day. There's no people there on the ground, on the parking lot, whatever. So that was most probably the day before. But the body was still there. Impressive. So we look at the body. He's lying there looking very dead. There's a guy with some military sort of trousers on in the background. By the way, the SWAT team that are there taking photos of themselves next to the body, look, they don't have watches on. That is, anyone in military or police force or SWAT team need to have some kind of time device, because they need to be able to report. I went up on the roof 2 days, at 14:02. Look at this image, like that. The guy, the one below. No, you're there. That's the one where the guy is posing to the left. That's the one. Click on that one, please. If you look at this guy, let me enlarge it a little bit. I mean, this guy is standing posing with the dead body in the background, looking quite cool. But look at his hands. There's no watch. There's nothing like that. Which is, you normally, as far as I know, they always have to be able to report the time, whatever it is. So what are we looking at? I would suggest the crisis actors. But anyway, so we have this gruesome image of him like that. We look at the blood underneath him, fresh. The blood on the t-shirt, fresh. And then across his face is some kind of old paint that has just cracked up, that is so dry, that is the whole thing from his ear and across his face, like dark brown and like cracked. So I spoke to a blood analyst saying, could you please explain this to me? And she said, I have no idea. The blood here looks like it matches the blood on the t-shirt. This whole thing, no idea what it is. Then suddenly, I'm talking about this thing forking out. That was the image we were shown right away. That didn't even look a lot like the David Thomas Matthew Crooks guy. But anyway, then suddenly we have photos appearing of the exact same photo, but without that thing, the color going across his face. What on earth is that? How is it even possible? It's forking up, creating confusion, creating diversion, and so we start looking at these things. Oh my God, yeah, but have you looked into Thomas Matthew Crook's background there and the offshore accounts here and the Saudi prince that just turned up and his connection with this? He was 20 years old. He had just got out of diapers. Would they hire a guy like that to do a hit on that level? Yeah. I don't think so. I mean, was he Harry Potter or something like that really matured very early with magician power? Do you know what's going on? Bullshit, diversion. That's what it's called. Diversion away from what? Diversion away from, I tell you, I almost want to see if I can just, can I share screen?
So he can share screen?
Yeah, he can share. There's no way he could have been an MK Ultra, the kid.
But good question, but why on earth, please answer to me, why on earth would you have somebody who has no clue to do a thing? If it's a matter of going down for it as a patsy, for sure. But you don't even have to. What do we see? We're being told that this guy exists. Yeah, true. I don't know. Did he not? These phantom identities are created out of nothing. They're called legends. These agencies do it for breakfast every day. The witness protection programs, FBIs and so on, they do it for breakfast every day. It's standard procedure. To create, and nowadays it's so easy to create these individuals and paper trails that just goes back a few months and Facebook accounts and stuff like that. I mean, but why? And then you look at the images of the guy on top of the roof. I mean, people have filmed. You see the people filming around also. They're very, there's not a lot of people around. And they're saying, look up there. And once again, we have this thing, so we can't really see. But the guy that is up there doesn't really look like the guy who we're being told, Thomas Matthew Crooks, at all. He's got long hair. He looks more like the other guy, number 2 that appeared. And then that started forking out that he was involved with other criminals and this and this and this. Diversion. But let me just see if I can find this this whole thing. 2 seconds, sorry.
That's fine. And then I want to get into one more subject.
I just have a feeling if Trump was in on it, he'd talk about it. He let people in on it. I don't know. I just think he wouldn't be too quiet about it. I think if you do it, if it was an inside job, you wouldn't let Trump know.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Welcome to Tinfoil Hat, where we go. To me, it's just saying, Xavier.
It's the way he acted just seems so, in a way, natural. Like if you told him to act like that, it seemed like I don't think he would. I don't know. Maybe it just seemed. I'm not saying it's not an inside job, but I don't think you'd let Trump know. You would just do it, handle it, and he's just.
But do you really think the moment he turns his head that? Like it's just perfectly worked out that way, Xavier? Is that what you think? I
think that was his natural instinct of like, this is how I'm gonna act for some crazy reason. I don't know. I just think when people say like he's super, I don't know. I just don't think he it's that thing where if you told Trump that there was aliens, he couldn't keep his mouth shut. Just like I don't think if you told him, hey, you're gonna get shot in the next couple of days, he'd act all. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I just think it's too. I don't think you'd let him in on it. You would just.
But we're not saying he's been shot. That's I don't think he's not been shot, right?
No. The whole thing was a set. I tell you, please feel free, chop off my right arm if I'm wrong. This is a complete psychological operation. That is my. Let me just share a screen with you. I'm just going to show you this.
Have we been able to do this yet? There we go.
Can you see?
Well, double click and there we go. Now we can see.
Okay, so boom.
The crown of the Messiah.
Okay, so
whoa.
So this is why can't I? Okay, so some 150 Orthodox Jews looked up Trump on the National Golf Course on July 10th, that's just 3 days before, awarded the former president a Kita Jerusalem Crown of Jerusalem Award. This is part of the ceremony, I would suggest. And here,
the current non-Jewish Messiah was chosen to be of service to the Jewish people and the Jewish Messiah. President Trump's right ear was grazed in a symbolic gesture of Exodus 21:6, where the Torah states that a servant who wants to remain with his master needs to have his right ear pierced. Trump was designated as God's servant and anointed one.
Within the outer courtyard of the Tabernacle of Moses was the bronze laver. It was here at the laver where Aaron and his sons were washed, clothed, and anointed prior to becoming a priest.
Are you still there?
Yes.
Can you see? It's exactly.
Yeah.
It's exact. But also, have you seen? Sorry, let me just share again.
I mean, that's crazy. I've never seen that. That's
no, I know,
crazy,
I know.
Right?
As far as I know, I'm the only one pointing in this direction. Okay, so
I mean, it's not just the anointing like you're talking about. It's they said piercing the ear, which is precisely what we've been told happened.
Yeah, and also they use the word graced. And if you look at how many headlines where they talk about him being graced by a bullet.
Yeah.
And if you would assume, you would think of piercing, they literally pierce the top of it. It's not like they even pierce the lobe, because if you hear piercing, you think like an earlobe piercing. It's at the top of it where it's like bleeding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Please let me know.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, have you seen it? I'm sure you've seen it before. Maybe I've been talking about these cards forever and ever. There's this Illuminati card game that was printed in 1995 that have had so many different things coming true. You got the 9/11, where you see exactly the explosives. Where that happened, that was like 6 years before 9/11, and still they knew exactly where the explosion was going to be. The Pentagon, I mean, the quarantines, so many of these things have come true. How is that possible? How is that possible? Gun quarantine, gun control, all of these things. So here, if that was printed in 1995,
so crazy.
And look how here the card is enough is enough. Do you know anyone who's been saying enough is enough a lot the last year? And then, can you see that here is being like something is being fired, and where the right ear is, where instead of a hole, there's the pyramid shape, also inverted satanically. And then you said, at any time, at any place, our snipers can drop you. Have a nice day.
What? That's crazy. That is so crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's the sniper card.
Yeah. Enough is enough. How many times?
This will finally be the year the American people say, enough is enough. This will be the year the American people say, enough is enough.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, and here we have the Freemasonic shoe, the shoe being taken off. And you see this guy, do you remember the triangular thing by his ear, where that was the Freemasonic one?
Damn, dude.
King me. Times Magazine, the cover of Times Magazine had not for centuries, decades, being used in a very, very strange way. And here, the heading says visions of absolute power. And what is Trump saying in so many different ways? He's talking about, let me just take here. Can you still see?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is crazy.
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
I mean, if you ask me, that's the New World Order. That's the New World Order. And then who's the people backing him? You got the Hulk Hogan, where the team is called the New World Order. I mean, it's not discreet. And then you got like this setup. I mean, look at the background. If that is not Freemasonic Illuminati with the whole thing, and here after this thing happened, he was backed by Amber Rose. I mean, this is a woman who's together with Marina Abramovich. I mean, I don't know about you, but shouldn't the PR secretary, I mean, the people of public relationship or whatever, you know, say, listen, Donald, I know you're friends, but really the timing isn't so good. And then we have the dear Rudy, this guy who is really deeply involved also in 9/11.
Someone tried to kill him. And he got up, and what did he do? Immediately, fight! 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 No more attacks! No more attacks! No more! Stop it! If there's anybody behind it, I'll find them. I did it to the mafia! I can do it to them!
I mean, look at his involvement in 9/11 and you will just see.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And this guy, I mean, once again, I don't know about you guys, but if I was running for any kind of office, I would sort of handpick the people I'm sort of pushing forward, saying, back me, check this guy out.
And I'm going to ask a man who's a great man, actually, one of the great men of our country, Kenneth Copeland, to come up and say a prayer. Do you mind? Kenneth Copeland. Please, Ken. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please.
I copied his suit. And I prayed about it, and I thought, I'm not missing that dedication in Jerusalem. Without the airplane that we have that I bought from Tyler Perry, and I didn't pay anywhere.
Oh, he's such a weirdo.
He made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it.
You said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
This guy's a piece of shit. I want to smack the fuck out of him.
Covenant. It just laughed, just jumped out of my mouth. You can't put that on me. No, his power, his life.
So weird, dude.
Nobody knows the Bible better than Satan, God first. I mean, honestly, that's we see that in Scripture. That
guy, dude.
Satan knew the Bible back.
Okay, so but I'm saying I don't care. I mean, who is this guy? Whatever you want to say about him, but why would anyone of Trump's caliber, who stands for the things that he stands for, bring a guy like that up on stage? I mean, This is, if he's not demonic, then he's a mental case that should be, I mean, this is a bizarre individual.
He's got a real following too. In America, that man has a real following. He's a...
that says something about your country.
Oh, of course.
So anyway, that was Trump. I would very strongly suggest, why don't have a look at his ear? And I mean, if you've seen people that have piercings, they put the rings in there, they enlarge them to like 2 centimeters. Then if they take them out, what does the ear look like? It is like, and it takes forever to fix or operate or whatever. Why hasn't he had any kind of like surgical thing, stitches, makeup thing? I mean, the whole, look at his ears also. It's not that they're sticking out like Prince Charles so that it would be an easy hit. It's like his ears are like that. How you just cannot. You cannot.
So Oli, excuse me. Sorry about that. My apologies. I totally agree with you. Do you have time to get into whether Elvis is still alive or not, or should we wait for another episode on that?
He is, and I would like to do another episode on that. It's an incredible case. Absolutely incredible case, I tell you that. And no, he's still around and a very pleasant.
He's still alive today.
Yeah. I have a video of him from last week. He's a very gentle individual. I don't want him any harm. At the same time, the world has been deceived for many years for reasons that I can get into. But let's do another show on just him, because I would very much like to just go into the case of the Swedish Prime Minister, Olof Palme.
Okay. All right.
So, and also, by the way, I'm going to do a webinar on Elvis I think it's on the 13th of October. But if you want me to get on before that, then let me know. But go to lightonconspiracies.com. I tell you, if you are not blown away by that one, I don't know what will get you. But anyway, so Olof Palme, I think we've spoken about him before, have we not? How I claim that he set up his own death. I was on your show. We did a show on that, didn't I?
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, excellent. So, I mean, once again, everybody's pointing that way, saying that happened. I'm saying that someone is correct, and I put a lot of effort into pointing that way. But anyway, so what I've been claiming is that he staged his own death in 1986, that he disappeared, but that he was still around for a long time, that he had some kind of weird disease, and that it was a very shameful disease, and because of that. But go back to the interviews we did. It's a super complex case, and it's also the biggest murder mystery and the most expensive murder investigation in the world. If you think JFK is complicated, this one is one step above. I've even written a book called Coup d'etat in slow motion. It's 1,000 pages almost on this whole thing. Anyway, so he disappeared out of sight after 86, and I've never been able to pinpoint where he went. I've just been saying, I know that he's out there. And then there's been sightings of him in Crete, the island of Crete, and also in Russia. I've had 5 sightings of him in Russia. But, I mean, what does that mean? So in 2021, there was a very odd thing that happened in Stockholm at the graveyard where he is officially buried. I would say not. But his tombstone, which is a natural stone like that, there's next to it, there was a tree growing, a small little on his grave. And that tree is very symbolic because the name of his operation, of his death was called Operation Tree. Because I think the reason they chose that name was because his name is Palme, but most English-speaking people say Palme, Olof Palme. They forget about the last E. So that was the one that named it Operation Tree. George Bush Sr. was involved. There was a super complex assassination combined with his own arrangement on his own death. It was a super complex thing that went completely wrong. And this is why we still, after all of these years, just like with JFK, have massive confusion around this whole thing.
So hold on. It was assassination attempt, or it was his own doing?
The thing is both things. This is what caused the incredible confusion. There were two teams at the same time. And yeah, like I said, I went through it in the other interview. But anyway, so in 2021, his grave was vandalized and the tree was cut and it was just thrown to the side. And somebody put like a silver tape, like an X across the tombstone, like this, and then squirted blood on top of the gravestone like this. So in my newsletter in September of 2021, I wrote, I said, is Olof Palme finally dead? Is this what happened here in a symbolic way, that he finally died? And that because a lot of people have died to cover this whole thing up, and they've done a lot of mayhem has happened because of this. So was there somebody on the inside who was so angry with him, or I don't know what, that they messed up his tombstone and this whole thing? So in my newsletter, 2021, September, I said, is he finally dead? ? I didn't know. And then just a month or so ago, I was contacted by an insider in Swedish military intelligence. I'm not really sure who he is. It's an anonymous source, but who has been delivering a lot of correct information to me, things that I've been able to check, and it's always been correct. And so he came to me with some mind-blowing stuff. He's very short. It's all hello, and then he disappears for a couple of months, and then suddenly hello, and boom, and then he disappears. So I don't know who he is. I can't contact him, whatever. But this time he said incredible stuff. What he said was, you're correct. He did not die in 1986. He staged his own death. It was planned from 82 up until the day of his alleged death in 1986. After that, he went to the US and he was staying under the name of Karl Kupfer, C-A-R-L, Kupfer with a K, Kupfer. He lived in Upper New York and also down on in Florida at a place called Satellite Beach. That was where he was staying until the early 90s. Okay, so one thing here that I find interesting is he got to the US. How did he get there? How, and so on. He was very deeply involved. His very first job was in Swedish military intelligence, and he was involved in a lot of really quite nasty things of how to map the population because of the political views and stuff like that during his whole career. He was a Bilderberger, and he was living a double life where he was working both sides, and also his public figure was this of the protector of the weak, the protector of the, he was standing up for the Vietnamese people. He was on Cuba. He was with the Sandinist government. He was like I would say he was a Trojan horse that was working for the big boys and then doing this whole thing being played out. But anyway, so that he went to the US, interesting, because his widow, after the funeral, according to her bodyguard, went to the US as well. And in the US, he was given time off as her bodyguard because the Secret Service took over in the US. Why would they do that from a Swedish politician's wife, a dead politician's wife? It doesn't make any sense. But yet again, okay, so Satellite Beach, the name, I mean, I went on Google Map, and on Satellite Beach, the only thing that is close to Satellite Beach on the Atlantic coast is like a stone throw away. The only thing that is there, if you drive 10 minutes north, is the Patrick U.S. Space Force headquarters, which is the U.S. Space Force headquarters that I have pointed out as responsible for the Lahaina attacks and many of the directed energy weapons attacks and many of the fires in both in Europe and in other places and in California and so on and so on and so on. The US Space Force, which was reactivated by no one less than Donald Trump, if I'm correct, are the deadly tool of these forces. Very, very deadly. So I find it highly, highly, highly peculiar that somebody who's trying to hide, who's been officially dead and going undercover, would go and live like a stone throw away from a place like that if he was not possibly working with them to set this whole thing up. Because he was not just a Swedish politician, he was a high-level player. Big one in many, many different areas, connected into all the different agencies and so on. So I think that is very interesting. And if anyone out there have ever heard about Karl Kupfer or know anything about him in Satellite Beach in Florida or Upper New York, please contact me. Anyway, so he said that he also, I just want to point out that also like one of the lovers of Olof Palme was Shirley MacLaine. In her book, Out on a Limb, she's talking about this politician that she sees and dates secretly around the world. That is Olof Palme. And in 2004 or something like that, I out of the blue, one day I received an envelope with a signed photo from Shirley MacLaine, where it says, Ole, keep on writing. I was like, what? That is interesting to me because I just got public with the book about Olof Palme and the whole thing. And then I get from her no letter, no nothing. I don't even know how she found me. I mean, I lived on the south coast in Spain. You know, I have no idea. Just this photo signed. It's in my book. Beautiful photo in golden letters. Ole, keep on writing. Okay, so anyway, this inside source, he claims that in the early 90s, he was then moved, transported, whatever, suddenly to Moscow, to Russia, and that he was part of building up the platform of intelligence networks for Boris Yeltsin. What? So he was working on that platform, creating what was the thing that then was the platform for Putin to come in on. That Olof Palme was part of creating that because of his knowledge in this area. And then that he was living under the name, let me just double check so I got it right.
So he basically helped build the Russian intelligence?
This is when you get to a certain level, you will see that there is no different sides. That we're looking at the same. We're looking like during the Cold War, we were told there's a conflict. Yes, there was a conflict, but not the ones pulling the strings up here. They were funding both sides to create this illusion of a war, of this whole thing, so that they could get the whole fear thing going. You look at the different world wars, so many different wars, funding both sides, because that is what they want. They want death, destruction, conflict. That's the name of the game. And so for someone to play both sides looks very confusing on a street level, but when you get up here, they're connected. It's the same with the intelligence agencies, like the Mossad, the CIA. They're completely in bed with each other. So when people say, oh, it was the Mossad, no, it was the CIA. Yes, you're both right. You're both right. So, but still it's confusing for me as well, you know, like sudden, or at least extraordinary. So this source, if it's true, I can't prove it yet. He said that Olof Palme then moved or were moved to Russia in the early 90s. And he lived under the name Alexei Sudov, Z8, let me just check the spelling. Once again, if anyone out there knows about him, Alexei Sudov, that's a C, a Z, Hudov, and that he worked there in the 90s and created that whole thing that then Putin came in and took over. Olof Palme was a close friend of Gorbachev and these guys. He was just about to go and see him just a few weeks after he officially died. Anyway, this guy says that now that he died in the summer of 2021, exactly where I pointed out in my newsletter in September 2021, was saying, did he die now? I mean, I was just guessing. And then he said the summer of 2021, which could be July, August, meaning that that would very much pinpoint the exact timing. Anyway, so he also said that he's now buried at the, let me check the spelling again, at the Novodevichi Cemetery, and then he says 18, I'm not sure what the 18 stands for, in central Moscow. Okay, so I looked into that cemetery. Do you know what that is? It is the cemetery for the most important Russian people ever. Tolstoy is there, Yeltsin is there, Gorbachev is there, and apparently they buried Olof Palme right in your face under the name of Alexei Sudov. I mean, if this is not, it just gives a whole new aspect of I would say the mistake we do if we look at one nation or one incident and so, because this is like this, it's a chessboard where they play, the whole set is being played, and we are the ones in the receiving end not understanding what's going on.
So does he fake his own death to what? Escape prosecution and something else,
No.
and it just moved somewhere else.
As far as I know, what happened, and this is a long story, but more or less, that in 1982, he was his career, everything. He was really, really successful internationally and in many different areas. And in 1982, he started having symptoms, very strange symptoms, and they didn't know what was going on. So there was a lot of secret meetings, and also, he went to different virus institutes and stuff to check it out. Does viruses exist or do they not? There's a big question around that. But whatever it is,
what do you think?
He was. No, I don't believe viruses exist, but I do know that there are diseases and there are also bioweapons that are being used that are labeled in different ways. That you got AIDS, which is a bioweapon that was created under Dr. Robert Gallo. I've got the whole thing where they ordered this disease and the funding and all of these things. But the AIDS thing was a biological weapon being created to take care of minorities, but also used as a weapon to get into areas like in different African countries, get rid of the people so that they could get to the gold, the minerals, the diamonds, the whole shebang.
Everything is a land grab. I was just thinking right now, because everyone's losing their mind that the Biden administration's giving people in North Carolina $750 in aid when they're sending aid to Israel, Ukraine at the billions and billions of dollars. And now I'm starting to go, is this a giant land grab? Meaning the entire country? Are they just trying to get rid of all of us so they can flip, just like they're doing in Africa, flip us and just take over?
According to documents I have, I don't know if it's true or not, but the plan is to make the US, especially the western part of it, into like a national reserve because of the beauty of the national thing, but more or less depopulated with smart cities where you're being like boom, 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 but where there's more or less no people left. That is the deconstruction of the US into a national park. I mean, it's bizarre.
Dude, that is insanity, and I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, look, we just did something on Flint, Michigan, what they're doing there, killing people, making them drink bad water. What just happened in North Carolina? I mean, dude, Paradise, California, they burn it down.
Hawaii.
Pennies on the dollar. Hawaii, Mexico. I mean, it's just absolutely insanity, dude.
I spoke to Chip Tatum once, who was he was the head assassin for George Bush Sr. He was the commander of an ultra-secret hit team called Pegasus. And I was talking to him about the mentality behind these things, because I said, I just don't get it. And he said, the only reason you don't understand it is because you're not a psychopathic killer. If you were, this would make perfect sense. But the thing is, we come from a completely different angle, saying it's not possible. Nobody would do that. Nobody could do it. Yeah, they would. And they're doing it until we say this is not on. So, there's so many of these things that are connected. We are under attack from all different areas. And also, I think that if you look back over the centuries, I think when the East Indian companies and so were created, the reasons they were created was because at that time, the so-called elite started seeing that, hang on, the earth we're living on may be flat or round, it's a limited space. So whoever controls the more we can control, the more power we have. And so here comes the land grab of nations, of empires, and all of these things where they just want more. So it's land, water, food, air, media, and that's the new world order for you. So the whole fourth industrial revolution, just another name of the same bullshit. Agenda 21, same name, same bullshit. Different name, same bullshit. It's a matter of this whole thing. Grab and grab and grab, but the fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer. And then they would very much like to say goodbye to a lot of us.
Yep, 100%, dude. 100% depopulation everywhere. at all times. I don't get it. I don't know how you can have a function. Like, there's no other way to look at it. Like, if you think this is about money and power, why would they want less people to rule over? It's a demonic thing that they're trying to control. Dang it, dude. This has been a crazy episode, Oli. I appreciate you, dude. One more time, Oli.
But if you check out sort of like the book of Revelations and see that as almost like a manual, because this is what is carrying on. If you also see the protocols of the elders of Zion, and see that as a manual, it's like, what on earth? Do I understand it? Absolutely not. But I stopped trying to understand after that interview with Chip Tatum, because I'm not a psychopathic killer. I don't get it. What I do know is that I want that way. I want love, harmony, compassion that way. They want the exact opposite. Who's right, who's wrong? I can only say in my world, this is right and this is so wrong. But if you ask them, this guy is the enemy. We are the enemy. So it's just polarities, black and white, plus and minus. And it's in the space of this realm that we live, that we can create and we can choose. Do I want to become a saint or a serial killer? Do I want to? It's amazing. But it's at the same time, we're at this peak right now where things are just, this illusion is breaking apart, I think. And the truth is really the tool that we should use, not violence, but use the truth in a non-bullshit, non-fear exposure type. The truth shall set you free. That's what they say. There's a lot of old scriptures saying the truth set you free. I mean, that's the only thing we need to focus on. Stand in your truth. Stand in your truth, because the forces that want that way will try and do everything they can to scare you out of that, so that you can be controlled and pushed down and turn into whatever. What do they? I mean, nowadays it's just the things that they want to do to us. Not very nice, I would say. So I would suggest this one is a better way to go. But it takes courage. It takes programs like this and an open mind. I'm on a daily basis unlearning things that I thought I knew, just getting into like, what? Because I think we really need a very good brainwashing, a really good rinse. I love that word, brainwashing. They've taken it from us, because that is what we need. We're really good flushing out of a lot of crap so that we can start see clear and think clearly. And there you go.
Oli, this has been an epic episode. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. So let's break down this episode. Let's go. All right, guys, the episode is the episode, man. It was kind of crazy, super nuts, very detailed, dude. Very detailed.
Yeah.
Very detailed. And so we're not going to break it down. It speaks for itself. Let's get into the website real quick. If you go to SamTripoli.com, Louisville, this weekend coming up, this Friday and Saturday, and then Tucson, and then I'll be in Tulsa, Oklahoma on the 14th through the 16th of November. Then Tampa Bay, then Calcul. I gotta send Eddie that passport. All right, guys, go on to SamTripoli.com. Real quick, I just want to get into, because it was a very long episode. October 15th, we are breaking down. We are doing it. It's the Sam Tripoli. You can go to SamTripoli.com. You can go to Rumble.com, and you can find my special, Why is Everybody Getting Quiet? There is going to be the uncensored version, a lot of shit talking going on, hanging and banging. And support me. I would really appreciate it. We got a lot of stuff going on. Guys, anything else?
Hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a review on iTunes or Spotify. That really helps us out.
Yeah, 5 stars. Let's go. Maybe sometime we'll read a couple of the good ones on the after show. Anything else?
Check out Broken Sam. It was funny. Sam talks about Skankfest. And that's it. We talk about Russell Brand too.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy these highlights.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim.
Not everybody has it. And you could work your ass off. You just don't have that thing that draws people in.
Charisma.
Doesn't mean you're not talented, but it's just there's energy. And some people, it's the Elvis factor. And
it used to be called the Hitler Factor until he did his little genocide. And then
we'll call it the Hitler Factor.
No, it used to be. He did a genocide.
John, on this show, it's called the Hitler Factor. Okay,
you can't deny the man's charisma.
The guy, I guess he was charismatic, dog.
Yeah, no, he was. Of course he was.
What they say,
you can't deny it. I mean, we can see the speeches.
Deny it. I deny a lot.
Have you ever heard the speeches of him in English that are going viral on TikTok?
Yeah, and everyone's like losing. It's so funny.
But he sounds like this AI that's converting them to English makes him sound. I mean, you get it when you hear him.
You know, you're really charismatic when AI makes you sound good, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But it's the guy that the voice that they use for is this kind of vaguely English accent that they have. They don't have him. If they had him speaking English in a German accent, I think it would be off-putting. But they have it in this vaguely English accent. Let me show you. Hitler AI English.
Yet in these empires there are not 10 people to the square kilometer, while Germany, with her 135 inhabitants to the square kilometer, is supposed to have room for them. 2.
Oh my God! Is he talking about immigration?
He is.
Oh my God!
Germany.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Okay, we just got flagged on YouTube.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, we get flagged for everything. Imagine, dude, if we did get flagged for Hitler, they're like, listen, hey, you can't talk about this. Okay, let the Hitler stuff go.
I like finding out what flags.
Right?
I'm actually re-uploading that last episode without the F-double-G word.
Unbelievable.
To see if they still get us.
To bring with them as immigrants. For hundreds of years, Germany was good enough to receive these elements, although they possessed nothing except infectious political and physical diseases. What they possess today, they have by a very large extent gained at the cost of the less astute German nation by the most reprehensible manipulations. Today, we are merely paying this people what it deserves. When the German nation was, thanks to the inflation instigated and carried through by Jews.
Okay, stop. Yeah.
I mean,
stop.
there it is.
You're gonna flip me right now. You're gonna get me flipping real quick. I'm gonna start riding Hitler's dick if you keep that going.
That's what I'm saying. Did you hear it? And you get it. Like you get what won over an entire country. In a whirlwind. I mean,
and it's so crazy because Trump is saying this, but in a whole different way. And he's just basically playing into giving them what they want, and that's why.
Who's them there? Who's the them?
The left, the progressives.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He's giving them a reason because presentation's everything to them. Because they don't need to worry about real world consequences, so they can get. Oh, look at that! Oh, look, he said it mean, right? We'll get into Skankfest after this. Let's finish this skank.
This went around. This video of him recently baptizing a guy. And they're talking about how he lacks humility and that this might be some kind of satanic thing because he's just in his tidy whities getting baptized. Or baptized.
Listen, dude, I don't trust anybody anybody under 70 that wears tidy whities anywhere. They know they're going to be in front of people.
Yeah.
I don't trust you.
Weird,
I don't trust you. You have way too much faith in your beehole. Sorry about that, dude. Sorry about that.
No,
like you're presenting your junk to us. This is the ego, right?
Yeah.
Like the other guy's
Completely.
like, I'm just gonna wear these boxer briefs and be a tinier version of you.
Yeah. Now here's
this guy's in some scuba gear. How deep does this guy think he's going?
And here's his explanation.
Who's still buying tidy whities, man?
Yeah, my dad. That's it. Yeah, my dad's worn them his entire life.
I mean, dude, why are you going with white tidy whities? At some point, someone goes, "Hey, man, we can make these in black, and then you don't have to worry about anything."
And I can tell you from firsthand experience, having seen the laundry my entire life. It's a problem. Having white tidy whities.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
My poor mother has had to deal with that her entire life. Here we go. This is his explanation for the photo.
I suppose looking at it now, it does look a bit immodest, me doing a baptism in underpants like that. But the truth is I took off my clothes and my underpants is all I'm wearing underneath my clothes. That's what I'm wearing right now. It wasn't a planned photo shoot. Some of my
Now, if you look, he's got like 4 crosses on and a weird chain there with a weird symbol on it. I mean, he's just, it's got all the hallmarks of a
character,
superficial conversion,
a character, playing a character.
Exactly. If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode, subscribe to Broken Simulation in your podcasting app, or check us out at youtube.com/SamTripoli.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hat, tinfoil hat, tinfoil